Good morning, baseball fans. Big Al here on this early Monday morning. It's April 20th, 2026, and we're diving in to our first look of the Major League Baseball standings for the 2026 season. And these are for the games played through April 19th. So with that, like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, ring the bell, and get notified every time I go live. And here we go with a look at the Major League Baseball standings through April 20th, or not April 26th, but rather April 19th. Sorry about that. Alright, we'll start off in the American League East, which is led by the New York Yankees with a record of 13-9. They are 8-5 at home, 5-4 on the road. They've scored 110 runs and allowed 82 for a run differential of plus 28, which is tops in the American League. They've won 3 straight games and are only 5-5 over their last 10. In second place are the Tampa Bay Rays at 12-9, half a game behind the Yankees. 4-2 record at home, 8-7 on the road, with 103 runs scored and 109 runs allowed. That's a -6 differential. They lost their last game and they are 7-3 in their last 10. The Baltimore Orioles are in third place with a record of 10-12, 3 games out behind the Yankees. 6-6 at home, 4-6 on the road, 91 runs scored, 98 runs allowed. Differential is -7. They've lost 2 straight and are 4-6 in their last 10. Tied at the bottom of the East are the Toronto Blue Jays and the Boston Red Sox, both with 8-13 records and both sitting 4.5 games behind the Yankees. Toronto is 6-6 at home and 2-7 on the road, while Boston is 4-5 at home and 4-8 on the road. The Blue Jays have scored 83 runs and allowed 109 for a differential of -26, while the Red Sox have scored 81 runs and allowed 96 for a differential of -15. The Blue Jays won their last game and they sit 4-6 in their last 10, while Boston has lost 2 games in a row and they are 5-5 in their last 10. Moving on to the American League Central Division, the Cleveland Guardians are leading the way with a record of 13-10, 7-3 at home, 6-7 on the road. 95 runs scored, 95 runs allowed. They have a run differential of 0. They've won 2 straight games and sit 5-5 in their last 10. In second place are the Detroit Tigers at 12-10, just a half game behind the Guardians. 8-1 at home, 4-9 on the road. 94 runs scored, 75 runs allowed. They have a run differential of plus 19. They've won 2 straight and are 8-2 in their last 10 games. In third place, you have the Minnesota Twins at 11-11. 1.5 games behind the Guardians. 7-6 record at home, 4-5 record on the road. They've scored 112 runs and allowed 100. They have a differential of plus 12. They've lost 4 straight games and are 5-5 in their last 10. The Chicago White Sox are in fourth place with a record of 8-14, 4.5 games behind the Guardians. 3-6 at home, 5-8 on the road, with 82 runs scored and 113 runs allowed for a run differential of -31. They won their last game and are 4-6 in their last 10. Sitting in fifth place, the Kansas City Royals with a record of 7-15. 5.5 games behind the Guardians in the Central. 5-5 at home, 2-10 on the road. They've scored 71 runs and allowed 103 for a run differential of -32. The Royals have lost 7 in a row and sit 2-8 in their last 10. Over in the American League West, we have a tie atop the division with the Texas Rangers and the Athletics, both at 11-11. Texas is 3-3 at home, 8-8 on the road, while the A's are 5-5 at home and 6-6 on the road. The Rangers scored 92 runs and allowed 82 for a run differential of +10. The Athletics have scored 91 runs and allowed 110 for a differential of -19. Texas has lost 2 straight games. They are 4-6 in their last 10. While the A's lost their most recent game, but are 6-4 in their last 10. The Los Angeles Angels sit third with a record of 11-12, just a half game out behind the Rangers and A's. LA is 4-5 at home, 7-7 on the road, 115 runs scored to 104 runs allowed, run differential +11. They've lost 2 in a row, and they are 5-5 in their last 10 games. The Seattle Mariners are in 4th place with a record of 10-13. 1.5 games behind the Rangers and Athletics. Seattle is 9-5 at home, but only 1-8 on the road. They've scored 90 runs and allowed 84 for a run differential of +6. They've won 2 straight games and are 6-4 in their last 10. And rounding out the West, the Houston Astros with a record of 8-15. 3.5 games behind the Rangers and Athletics, rather. Houston is 7-6 at home and 1-9 on the road. They've scored 121 runs and allowed 140 for a run differential of -19. The Astros have lost 4 straight, and they sit 2-8 in their last 10 games. Over in the National League East, you have the Atlanta Braves with a record of 15-7. 8-4 record at home, 7-3 on the road. They've scored 122 runs and allowed 65. Their +57 run differential is the best in Major League Baseball. The Braves have won 5 straight, and they are 8-2 in their last 10 games. Tied for 2nd place are the Miami Marlins and the Washington Nationals, both at 10-12, 5 games behind the Braves. Miami is 8-5 at home, only 2-7 on the road, while Washington is 2-7 at home and 8-5 on the road. The Marlins scored 100 runs while allowing 101. They have a run differential of -1. Meanwhile, the Nationals scored 121 runs and allowed 134 for a run differential of -13. Both teams have won their last game. Meanwhile, Miami is 3-7 in their last 10, while Washington is 6-4. The Philadelphia Phillies are in 4th place with a record of 8-13. 6.5 games behind the Braves. 5-10 at home, 3-3 on the road. 75 runs scored to 113 runs allowed. That gives them a run differential of -38, which is the worst in the National League. They've lost 5 straight games and sit 2-8 in their last 10. At the bottom of the East, the New York Mets with a record of 7-15. 8 games behind the Braves. 3-6 at home, 4-9 on the road. 72 runs scored to 97 runs allowed. They have a -25 run differential. They've lost 11 games in a row, which means over their last 10, they are 0-10. Jumping over to the National League Central, led by the Cincinnati Reds with a record of 14-8. 6-6 at home, 8-2 on the road, 78 runs scored and 86 runs allowed. They have a run differential of -8. They've won 3 straight games and sit 6-4 in their last 10. In second place are the St. Louis Cardinals with a record of 13-8, just a half game behind the Reds. 7-5 record at home, 6-3 on the road, with 103 runs scored and 111 runs allowed. They also have a run differential of -8. The Cardinals have won 5 in a row and sit 7-3 in their last 10. The Pittsburgh Pirates are in third place with a record of 13-9, just one game out behind the Reds. 8-5 at home, 5-4 on the road, 113 runs scored to 88 runs allowed. They have a +25 run differential. They've won their last game, and they are 6-4 in their last 10. Fourth place are the Chicago Cubs with a record of 12-9, 1.5 games behind the Reds, 7-5 at home, 5-4 on the road, 112 runs scored to 82 runs allowed. Run differential is +30. They've won 5 in a row, and they are 7-3 in their last 10. Also tied for fourth place are the Milwaukee Brewers with a record of 12-9, also 1.5 games behind the Reds. Same home and away splits as the Cubs, 7-5 at home, 5-4 on the road. They scored 106 runs while allowing 87. They have a run differential of +19. They did lose their last game, and they are 4-6 in their last 10 games. In the National League West, the 2-time reigning world champion Los Angeles Dodgers, owners of the best record in baseball at 15-6. 9-3 at home, 6-3 on the road. 121 runs scored to 73 runs allowed. They have a run differential of +48, which is the second best in baseball behind the Atlanta Braves. The Dodgers have lost back-to-back games and sit 6-4 in their last 10. In second place are the hard-charging San Diego Padres at 15-7, just a half game behind the Dodgers. 9-4 at home, 6-3 on the road, 96 runs scored, 79 runs allowed. They have a +17 run differential. They've won 2 straight and are a Major League best 9-1 in their last 10 games. The Arizona Diamondbacks are in third place with a record of 13-9, 2.5 games behind the Dodgers. 7-3 at home, 6-6 on the road, 99 runs scored versus 102 runs allowed. They have a run differential of -3. They lost their last game, but they are 7-3 in their last 10. Tied at the bottom of the West are the Colorado Rockies and the San Francisco Giants, both at 9-13, and both sitting 6.5 games behind the Dodgers. Colorado is 6-3 at home, but only 3-10 on the road, while San Francisco is 3-7 at home and 6-6 on the road. The Rockies scored 89 runs while allowing 99 for a run differential of -10. The Giants have scored 75 runs and allowed 96 for a run differential of -21. Colorado has won 2 straight, but are 3-7 in their last 10. The Giants, meanwhile, lost their most recent game and set 5-5 in their last 10. Alright, so looking at the playoff picture in the American League first, the Yankees would have the number 1 seed in the American League with their 13-9 record. The Cleveland Guardians, leaders of the Central, would be the number 2 seed. And based on tiebreakers, the Texas Rangers, co-leaders of the AL West, would be the number 3 seed. Meanwhile, in the National League, the Dodgers would have the number 1 seed in the NL with a record of 15-6. The Atlanta Braves would be number 2 at 15-7. And the Cincinnati Reds at 14-8 would be number 3. Okay, looking at the wild card race in the American League. As of right now, the 3 teams that would land wild card spots in the American League would be Tampa Bay at 12-9, Detroit at 12-10, and Minnesota at 11-11. The A's are also 11-11, but based on tiebreakers, they would be out as of right now. The Los Angeles Angels at 11-12 would be a half game out of the 3rd wild card spot. Baltimore at 10-12 would be 1 game out. Seattle at 10-13 would be 1.5 games out. Both Toronto and Boston at 8-13 would be 2.5 games out. Followed by the Chicago White Sox 8-14 and 3 games out. The Houston Astros at 8-15 and 3.5 games out. And the Kansas City Royals at 7-15 and 4 games out. The 3 wild card spots in the National League would go to the San Diego Padres at 15-7, the St. Louis Cardinals at 13-8, and the Pittsburgh Pirates at 13-9. The Arizona Diamondbacks have that same 13-9 record, but would lose the tiebreaker, so they would be out of the playoffs right now. Both the Cubs and Brewers at 12-9 sit only a half game out, and then it really drops off. Miami and Washington, both 10-12, would be 3 games out. San Francisco and Colorado at 9-13 would both be 4 games out. Philadelphia at 8-13 is 4.5 games out, and the New York Mets, with a record of 7-15, would be 6 games out. Okay, let's look at individual numbers. Individual and team leaders through April 19th. And right now, Andy Pages of the Los Angeles Dodgers would lead the majors with a .382 batting average. In second place is Ben Rice of the New York Yankees with a .338. He's actually tied with Otto Lopez of the Miami Marlins at .338. And then there's a tie for fourth with Xavier Edwards of the Marlins and Yandy Diaz of the Rays, both at .337. As far as home runs, Yordan Alvarez leads the majors with 10 homers, followed by Aaron Judge of the Yankees with 9. And then Jordan Walker of the Cardinals, Munetaka Murakami of the Chicago White Sox, and Ben Rice of the Yankees all have 8 homers. As far as RBIs, there's a 3-way tie at the top with Yordan Alvarez of the Astros, Nico Horner of the Cubs, and Andy Pages of the Dodgers, each with 21. O'Neal Cruz of the Pirates and C.J. Abrams from the Nationals, each with 19 RBIs. As far as hits, Andy Pages leads the majors with 29, and then you have a 4-way tie for second with Brandon Nimmo of the Rangers, Yandy Diaz of the Rays, Xavier Edwards of the Marlins, and Chandler Simpson also from the Rays, each with 28 hits. Okay, Jose Ramirez of the Cleveland Guardians leads the majors with 10 stolen bases. Oneil Cruz of the Pittsburgh Pirates and Jose Caballero of the New York Yankees are tied for second with 9. Meanwhile, tied for fourth, you have Jazz Chisholm Jr. of the New York Yankees and Bobby Witt Jr. of the Kansas City Royals, tied at 8 stolen bases. As far as pitching goes, Jose Soriano of the LA Angels and Aaron Ashby of the Milwaukee Brewers lead the majors with 5 wins. Chris Sale of the Atlanta Braves and Michael Soroka of the Arizona Diamondbacks are tied with 4 wins, while George Kirby is among a long list of major leaguers with 3 wins. George Kirby pitches for the Mariners. Okay. Jose Soriano of the LA Angels leads the majors in earned run average at 0.28, followed by Bryce Elder of the Atlanta Braves at 0.77. Third is Michael Wacha of the Kansas City Royals with a 1.00 ERA. Parker Messick of the Cleveland Guardians is fourth with a 1.05. And rounding out the top 5 is Seth Lugo of the Kansas City Royals at 1.48. Mason Miller of the San Diego Padres leads the majors with 8 saves. In second is Paul Sewald of the Arizona Diamondbacks with 7. And then there's a tie with 6 each, including Emilio Pagan of the Cincinnati Reds, David Bednar of the New York Yankees, and Riley O'Brien of the St. Louis Cardinals. They all have 6 saves. Okay, strikeouts. Leading the way is Jacob Misiorowski of the Milwaukee Brewers with 42. Gavin Williams is second with 40 strikeouts. Jose Soriano of the Angels and Christopher Sanchez of the Phillies are tied for third, both with 39 strikeouts. And then Ryan Weathers of the New York Yankees is fifth with 36 strikeouts. As far as quality starts, that's where a pitcher goes 6 innings, allowing 3 or fewer runs. And all pitchers in the top 5 are tied for the major league lead in quality starts. Chris Sale of the Atlanta Braves, Michael Wacha of the Kansas City Royals, Max Fried of the New York Yankees, Mitch Keller of the Pittsburgh Pirates, and Framber Valdez of the Detroit Tigers all have 4. Okay, now looking at team statistics. Okay, looking at batting leaders. Team batting leaders through April 19th. The LA Dodgers lead the majors with a 289 team batting average. Second is the Atlanta Braves at 276. Third is the Tampa Bay Rays at 259. In fourth, you have the Washington Nationals at 258. And in fifth place are the Houston Astros at 255. Home runs by teams in baseball is led by the LA Dodgers with 37. Then you have 34 for the LA Angels. The New York Yankees have 32. The Atlanta Braves are fourth with 29 homers. And the Houston Astros are fifth with 27. As for runs batted in, that's led by the Atlanta Braves and the Los Angeles Dodgers. They are tied for the major league lead with 119 RBIs. The Houston Astros are third with 112, and tied for fourth are the LA Angels and Washington Nationals, each at 111. Okay, hits per team. The Atlanta Braves are leading baseball with 210 hits, followed by the LA Dodgers at 207. In third, the Washington Nationals with 200. Then it's the Houston Astros at 199. And rounding out the top five are the Pittsburgh Pirates with 194 hits. Alright, and stolen bases. The Milwaukee Brewers lead all teams with 33 stolen bags. The New York Yankees are second with 27. Third are the Miami Marlins with 25 stolen bases. The Colorado Rockies and the Tampa Bay Rays round out the top five with 24 stolen bases. Now looking at team pitching. Alright, as far as wins, the Braves, Dodgers, and Padres are all tied for the league lead with 15. The Reds have 14 wins, while the Guardians have 13 wins. The Atlanta Braves lead the majors in team earned run average at 2.66. The Seattle Mariners and the Pittsburgh Pirates are tied for second at 3.22. The Detroit Tigers are fourth at 3.27. And the San Diego Padres are number 5 with a team ERA of 3.36. Alright, the Cincinnati Reds lead baseball in saves with 10. The Atlanta Braves, San Diego Padres, and Arizona Diamondbacks are all tied for second with 9 saves. And the Baltimore Orioles round out the top 5 with 8 saves. As for strikeouts, the Cleveland Guardians lead all major league teams in strikeouts with 229, followed by the Houston Astros with 222. Then it's the Angels with 213, the Padres with 212, and the Philadelphia Phillies round out the top 5 in team strikeouts with 209. And quality starts as we wrap this up. The Seattle Mariners lead baseball with 13 quality starts from their rotations. The Tigers and Dodgers are tied for second with 12 each. The Kansas City Royals are fourth with 11. And the Los Angeles Angels round out the top 10, or the top 5 rather, with 10. Okay, so we're going to look at how the Tigers rank, how the Detroit Tigers are ranking. In every category as we close this thing down. Alright, so starting off, okay, I clicked the wrong thing. Go to okay, here we go. Alright, as far as at-bats, the major league leader in at-bats is the Houston Astros with 780 at-bats in 23 games. The Milwaukee Brewers have the fewest at-bats with 694 in 21 games. The Tigers are in the middle at 723 at-bats through 22 games. That is 16th in baseball. Okay, as for runs scored, the Braves lead the majors with 122 runs scored. The Royals have the fewest runs scored with 71. And both teams play 22 games. As for the Tigers, they are not in the top 10. They are 17th in runs scored with 94 runs through 22 games. So that's about 4.5 per game, I think. Okay. Team leaders in hits. Mentioned the Atlanta Braves. They lead the majors with 210 hits. The Cincinnati Reds have the fewest of any team with 145. As for the Tigers, they are 14th with 176 hits. All right. Alright, the most doubles in baseball through April 19th belong to the Houston Astros with 53. And that is 6 clear of the second place team, the Arizona Diamondbacks, with 47. The Reds have the fewest doubles with 24. As for the Tigers, they're tied with the Braves for 4th with 42 doubles. Alright, how about triples? The major league leader in triples by team is the Miami Marlins with 8. The Cleveland Guardians and the St. Louis Cardinals have yet to record a triple this season. Alright, home runs. That is led by the LA Dodgers with 37. The Boston Red Sox and the San Francisco Giants have the fewest home runs by team with 13. The Tigers are not much better. At 17 home runs, they're tied with Kansas City and San Diego for 24th. Okay, jumping over to RBIs. The Braves and Dodgers lead baseball with 119 RBIs as a team. The Kansas City Royals have the fewest RBIs in the majors with 67, while the Tigers sit at 90 RBIs. That ties the Orioles and Guardians for 16th. Alright. Total bases by team, the major league lead belongs to the LA Dodgers, 354. The fewest is the Reds with 234. The Tigers are tied with the Minnesota Twins for 17th in total bases with 275. Alright. Walks, or base on balls. And there's a 3-way tie with the Angels, Brewers, and Yankees with 109 walks. The Giants have the fewest walks with 43. As for the Tigers, they're middle of the pack with 80 walks, tied with the Rangers and Dodgers. Okay. Strikeouts per team, offensively. These are the bad types of strikeouts. The Angels lead baseball with 223 strikeouts as a team. The Toronto Blue Jays have the fewest offensive strikeouts with 146. The Tigers are tied with Cleveland with 180 strikeouts. Okay, as far as stolen bases, the major league leaders are the Milwaukee Brewers with 33, and that's 6 more than number 2, which is the Yankees. So far, the San Francisco Giants have the fewest stolen bases in Major League Baseball as a team. They only have 5 through 22 games. The Tigers are 29th with 7 stolen bases. Alright, team batting average. Leading the majors are the LA Dodgers, hitting .289 as a team. And the lowest team batting average is the Cincinnati Reds at .202. The Tigers are number 12 in team batting average at .243. Let's see. Team on base percentage. I bet that's led by the Dodgers. Yep, I was right. Dodgers lead in on base percentage at .363. The lowest is the New York Mets at .288. The Tigers presently sit 13th in on base percentage at .324. Okay, slugging percentage. Alright, that's led by the LA Dodgers at .494. Nearly 50 points higher than the number 2 team, which is the Atlanta Braves, who has a .450 slugging percentage as a team. Cincinnati is the lowest in terms of slugging percentage at .326. The Tigers are at .380, which is 17th. And then OPS, that's on base plus slugging. So you add those two numbers up, and you come to that ultimate number, which is led by the LA Dodgers with an .857. That's pretty impressive. Or not .857, but rather a .623. Right, it was .857. The lowest OPS in baseball is the Cincinnati Reds at .623. As for the Tigers, they're middle of the pack with a .704 slugging percentage as a team. Moving on to pitching. There we go. Alright. The lowest team ERA in the majors is the Atlanta Braves with a 2.66. The highest team ERA is the Houston Astros at 6.11. As for the Tigers, they are number 4 in team ERA at 3.27. Alright. As far as saves, the Cincinnati Reds lead all of baseball with 10. And the fewest saves of any team, or in this case teams, would be the Blue Jays and Mets with only 2 saves. Alright, complete games. There hasn't been many complete games here in the 2026 season. Only the Seattle Mariners and the Miami Marlins have recorded a complete game. Okay. How about shutouts? This is a pretty good stat for pitchers. Alright. Shutouts are led by 3 teams. The Angels, Yankees, and Braves. They all have 4 shutouts. Meanwhile, 6 of the 30 major league teams have yet to record a shutout this season. Let's see, the Tigers presently have 2 shutouts, which is tied for 8th in baseball. Quality starts, that is again when a starting pitcher goes at least 6 innings while allowing 3 or fewer runs. The Seattle Mariners lead the majors with 13 quality starts. The Washington Nationals have only had one all season. The 12 quality starts by the Tigers ties the Dodgers for second. Alright, moving on to innings pitched. This is a very important stat for pitchers as well. Alright, the team that has pitched the most are the Seattle Mariners and the Pittsburgh Pirates at 204 and 1/3 innings. The lowest is the Boston Red Sox at 184 and a third innings. The Tigers with 189 and 2/3 innings pitched sit 22nd in baseball. Alright. Hits allowed. Alright, the fewest hits allowed by a pitching staff is the Dodgers with 140. Meanwhile, the most is the Washington Nationals, 215. Alright, the Tigers are third. In fact, they're tied for third with the Cubs for the fewest hits allowed by a pitching staff with 155. As far as earned runs, the fewest earned runs allowed by a team in Major League Baseball through April 19th is the Atlanta Braves with 58. At the bottom of the list, you have the Houston Astros at 136 earned runs allowed. The Tigers is second in earned runs allowed with 69, and that leads the American League. Alright, moving to home runs allowed. Alright, the Tigers, Twins, and Padres have allowed the fewest home runs of any pitching staff in baseball, only 13. The most given up is the Washington Nationals with 39. Okay. As far as walks by pitching staff, my computer is slow. Here we go. The Seattle Mariners have allowed the fewest walks of any pitching staff in the majors with 54. The Astros have allowed the most walks, 123. The Tigers are in the top 10 with only 75 walks allowed. That ties them with the New York Mets. Alright. Team strikeouts by pitching staff. The number one team is the Cleveland Guardians with 229 strikeouts by their pitchers. The St. Louis Cardinals are at the very bottom with 136. The Tigers are in that bottom 10 as well. Only 176 strikeouts. That is 22nd in baseball. Opponent's batting average. Opponent's batting average. The lowest opponent's batting average is the Los Angeles Dodgers who allows teams to hit at a 206 clip. That's it. The Philadelphia Phillies are the worst, with a 275 opponent's batting average. The Tigers rank really high in this category. They are number 5 in the majors, with a 220 opponent's batting average. And finally, we have WHIP. Which is walks plus hits per innings pitch. The Atlanta Braves leads the majors in this category with a 1.08 WHIP. The Astros have the worst WHIP in baseball at 1.63. As for the Tigers, we're at 1.21, which is number 6 in the majors. And now we have come to fielding, as we'll finally wrap this bad boy up. Okay, so let's see. The fewest errors in the majors is a tie between the Athletics and the Dodgers with only 5 errors committed. The Washington Nationals have committed the most errors in baseball, 21 as a team. Okay, moving on to fielding percentage. Wow, my Chromebook is crazy slow. Alright, the top fielding percentage is the Athletics at 994, and the worst is the Tampa Bay Rays at 973. As for the Tigers, they are number 20 in fielding percentage at 984. Let's see. Total chances. There we go. Alright, 825 total chances leading baseball is the Nationals. Fewest is the Texas Rangers at 737. The Tigers sit at 761. Putouts. Alright, and they don't even have these in order. Looks like the Mariners and Pirates are leading the majors in putouts with 613. Meanwhile, the fewest putouts is the Boston Red Sox with 553. As for the Tigers, we have 569 putouts. And the last stat we'll look at is assists. Alright. The most assists by a team is the St. Louis Cardinals with 211. The fewest is a tie with the Tampa Bay Rays and Texas Rangers, both at 155. The Tigers have 180 assists. That ties the Dodgers for 20th. And that is a look at the current Major League Baseball standings through April 19th. Now let's take a look at the upcoming series for each team, and we'll start in the AL East. Alright, here we go. Okay, the Yankees will play a 3-game series with the Red Sox at Fenway Park Tuesday through Thursday, and then they travel to Houston to play the Astros Friday through Sunday. The Rays will play an interleague set against the Cincinnati Reds Monday through Wednesday, and then they host the Minnesota Twins Friday through Sunday. The Baltimore Orioles begin the week in Kansas City with a 3-game series beginning on Monday, and then they'll return home to play the Boston Red Sox beginning Friday. The aforementioned Red Sox will play the finale of their 4-game wraparound series with the Tigers on Marathon Day. And then the New York Yankees come to Fenway Tuesday through Thursday before the Sox travel to Baltimore. The Blue Jays continue their Western trip in Anaheim against the LA Angels Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, before returning home to play the Cleveland Guardians over the weekend. As far as the AL Central, the Cleveland Guardians will host the Houston Astros Monday through Wednesday, and then visit the Blue Jays Friday through Sunday in Toronto. The Tigers play the finale of their 4-game series with the Red Sox on Monday, and then go home for a quick series with the Milwaukee Brewers Tuesday through Thursday, and then it's back out on the road as they face the Cincinnati Reds Friday through Sunday. The Twins are at the Mets in New York Tuesday through Thursday as the Mets look to end an 11-game losing streak. And then after that, the Twins will travel down to St. Petersburg to face the Tampa Bay Rays Friday through Sunday. The White Sox are also out west. They're in Arizona beginning on Tuesday with a 3-game set with the Diamondbacks. And then they'll return home to host the Washington Nationals. So they'll be playing interleague ball all week. The Kansas City Royals will host the Orioles Monday through Wednesday. And that's followed by the LA Angels Friday through Sunday. As far as the West, the Athletics will be on the road in their division this week. They play in Seattle Monday through Wednesday, and then at Texas Friday through Sunday. The Rangers will host the Pittsburgh Pirates Tuesday through Thursday, and then host the A's Friday through Sunday. The Angels will host the Toronto Blue Jays Monday through Wednesday before traveling to Kansas City for a 3-game series beginning on Friday. The Mariners will host the A's Monday through Wednesday, and then they're in St. Louis to face the Cardinals Friday through Sunday. And the Houston Astros travel to Cleveland Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday before returning home to play the New York Yankees over the weekend. As for the National League, the Atlanta Braves will start a 4-game series with the Nationals in Washington on Monday night. And then they'll host the same Phillies team they just swept in Philadelphia this weekend. They'll play in Atlanta Friday through Sunday. The Marlins are home against the St. Louis Cardinals Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and then they go on a 6-game West Coast trip which begins Friday in San Francisco. The Nationals will host the Braves in a 4-game series in our nation's capital before venturing off to Friday through Sunday. The slumping Phillies are in Chicago for 4 against the Cubs, and then they'll play the Braves again, this time at Truist Park Friday through Sunday. The Mets looking to end the longest current losing streak in baseball at 11 straight losses. They'll host the Minnesota Twins Tuesday through Thursday, and then the Colorado Rockies come in Friday through Sunday. In the NL Central, the Reds will visit the Rays in Tampa Wednesday or Monday through Wednesday, and then they'll host the Detroit Tigers Friday through Sunday. The Cardinals are in Miami for 3 starting on Monday, and then they'll host Seattle for 3 beginning on Friday. The Pirates are on the road all week. They'll play at Texas Tuesday through Thursday, and at Milwaukee Friday through Sunday. The Cubs will host 4 with the Philadelphia Phillies beginning on Monday before venturing out west to face the 2-time defending World Series champion LA Dodgers Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The Brewers are in Detroit meanwhile Tuesday through Thursday before coming home to host the Pirates Friday through Monday. And out in the National League West, the LA Dodgers conclude their 4-game series in Denver against the Colorado Rockies on Monday. Then it's off to San Francisco for 3 beginning on Tuesday, and then it's back home to host the Cubs beginning Friday. The Padres will visit the Colorado Rockies on Tuesday and play them in a 3-game series. And then they will face the Arizona Diamondbacks in Mexico City Saturday and Sunday, with San Diego as the designated road team. The Diamondbacks will begin a 3-game interleague set with the Chicago White Sox Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then the aforementioned series in Mexico City with the Padres Saturday and Sunday. And Arizona is the designated home team for that series. The Rockies conclude their set with the LA Dodgers on Monday. Then they host the San Diego Padres Tuesday through Thursday before traveling to New York to face the Mets Friday through Sunday. And the San Francisco Giants begin a 3-game series with the arch-rival Dodgers Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then over the weekend, host the Miami Marlins. Alright, so that's a look at the Major League Baseball standings, the individual and team leaders, and the upcoming series across Major League Baseball for this week. We'll be doing this every Monday morning, so make sure you join me. In the meantime, like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Ring the bell and get notified every time I go live. And coming soon, we'll look at the final standings in both the NBA and the NHL, as both leagues are now into the playoffs. So be on the lookout for those videos coming soon. Big Al signing off. Thanks for watching, and keep on hitting. Peace out.